Quickly to the United States and the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Now, as you know, he has been found not guilty of murder. Now, they decided not to charge him with manslaughter, which very obviously he was guilty of, but they decided to go for the full murder charge, that he intentionally decided to kill people. But anyone who actually watched the trial knows that a bloke, one of those that he shot, had a gun aimed at him. Another bloke bashed him over the head with a skateboard. This was clearly an act of self-defence. Here was the moment in the court.
The unfortunate message of vindication and making a hero of Kyle Rittenhouse is appalling, but the actual verdict in this courtroom based on this evidence is a defensible one, I think.
Oh, so hang on. If you actually pay attention to the evidence in the court, it's obvious why they made the decision, but the decision is wrong because of how others will perceive it. This is not a justice system. This is upside down world. And why would so many people have that particular view? And why would they have protests straight after, if you followed the evidence, the verdict was clear, the verdict was just, the verdict was right? Because they've been fed crap like this for 2 years.
I find these people disgusting, Ellie. I'm disgusted at what I'm seeing. It's not just this trial, it's other trials. But this in particular, the fact that white supremacists roam the halls of Congress freely and celebrate this little murderous white supremacist, and the fact that he gets to walk the streets freely, it lets you know these people have access to instituting laws. They represent the legislative branch of this country. What are we to make of that?
Welcome to the modern Republican Party. And this is what a majority of white people vote for, right? When I say that a majority of white people are in favor of this kind of violence, it is because a majority of white people consistently vote Republican. Matt Gaetz is giving the white folks what they want. Look at it. Look at yourselves. It's gross.
You know he shot white people, right? In an act of self-defence. But anyway. And believe it or not, this complete distortion, despite the fact that the bloke on CNN said that if you actually followed the evidence, then the verdict was obvious, it made it all the way to the Vice President of the United States. This was her reaction to a jury trial, something where, if the evidence had suggested that he should have been found guilty of murder, he would have been.
As many of you know, I've spent a majority of my career working to make the criminal justice system more equitable, and clearly there's a lot more work to do. Thanks.
What? You locked up thousands of black people for drug charges like marijuana. And by the way, rather than just being the most unimpressive and unpopular vice president in United States modern history, Kamala Harris was actually the full powers of the president for a little while because Joe Biden had a colonoscopy and CNN decided to pretend it was history.
It's a moment that, but it is a moment that will be noted in the history books that America, for an hour and 25 minutes, had a woman commander-in-chief.
I just went to my phone to look at the date. November 19th, 2021. It is the first time that a woman of color, had presidential power. It was brief, but it happened. And it is a moment to mark in history. At some point, maybe in our lifetimes, there will be a woman who is elected to the highest office in the land.
Oh, it's
that has not happened.
Disappointing that this is this is how we get to this point
through a colonoscopy.
Through a colonoscopy.
Drink in the moment. 2024 cannot come fast enough. But till then, enjoy doing this to yourself, Democrats.